Hello YouTube, this is Matt Pullen, and for this short chess video I'm going to discuss a position that Aron Nimzovitch gives in his chess manual My System, which is a really good read, by the way. It dramatically improved my positional understanding of chess. So this position is white to play and win, and he has a pawn that is going this way, and white of course cannot queen his pawn because of bishop takes queen, and for king takes, white does not have sufficient material to win the game. So white needs to ensure that he will get his queen, and that black is not able to give up his bishop for the pawn on b8. Now, if white had a light-squared bishop, like say if his bishop were here, then this would be a draw because white will not be able to fight for control over the b8 square, which is the square that the pawn needs to queen on. But because the bishop is on a dark square, white has a technique that allows him to fight for control over b8. So the thing that white needs to do here is to cut off this dark bishop from controlling the b8 square. And how do we do this? Well, we don't control any points on the diagonal from h2 to b8, aside of course from b8 itself. So the white bishop cannot go here, because black just has king takes in that case. So the white bishop will approach b8 from another angle, say going to h4 and then coming here and then coming to a7. See, if the white bishop can get to a7, then the white bishop can occupy b8 and force the black bishop to lose control over that square. Well, how do we achieve this? Let's start with the move bishop to h4. And in this case, black looks and sees, okay, my opponent is threatening to play bishop to f2 and bishop to a7 and then, contest the square b8. Well, how do I stop that maneuver? Obviously the move bishop to g1 is out because the bishop is forgetting that its priority is to guard against b8 queen. So the bishop has to stay on this, the dark square bishop has to stay on this diagonal. So the only way to prevent this bishop maneuver in green is for black to use his king to stop the bishop from getting to a7. So let's see that. There's king b5, and now bishop to f2 threatening to come to a7, and now king a6. So we're stopping that move. So what to do now? The solution for here is that white needs to just make a little bishop move. And there's no way for the black king to move and maintain control over the a7 square. So black needs to make a bishop move here. It doesn't matter where black moves his bishop. Let's say he goes to g3. So now the white bishop is going to change his attack. A point that Aron Nimzovitch makes is that the attacking bishop can change angles, much more effectively than the defending bishop. Which, based on this example, I'd say, makes a strong case. Yeah, attacking bishops can be quite flexible. There are a number of ways to get to the same square. So in this case, I'm threatening bishop to g5 and bishop to d8, and then coming to c7 to cut off the bishop. So the only way for black to stop this plan is to use his king. So the black king needs to get over to control the c6 square. So after bishop to g5, black will play king to b6, and then bishop to d8 check, king to c6, and we've reached the initial position, but with one difference. The black bishop is on g3 and not on h2, and this allows white to play another type of attack to try to divert the bishop away from the b8 square. So the move is bishop to h4. It looks on the surface like white is giving his bishop away for nothing, but it's not for nothing. It's for the b8 square. If bishop takes bishop, for instance, just b8 queen is an easy win. So the black bishop is attacked and needs to maintain control over this square. So let's say he just plays bishop to f4. Now white begins this attack on a7 again, and the black king is going to be too slow to get over there. Like if king to b5, then white is just going to play bishop to a7 and come to b8. So black probably shouldn't even bother to attack that with his king, because he's going to be too slow. So black just moves the bishop again to e5. And now white gets this move in, and now white is contesting the b8 square. So he's definitely achieved something from the initial position that we saw. And black doesn't have any meaningful defense, so he just, say he plays bishop to d6, and then after bishop to b8, any kind of trade here would be winning for white. Because white is just going to play away from the queen square and queen his pawn on b8. So the black bishop should move. Let's just say bishop to c5. And now there's no way white is in full control over the queening square, but the only problem is his bishop is in the way of him queening the pawn. So white needs to move the bishop away. And what's the correct idea? If white plays bishop to c7, then black can just play the bishop to a7, contesting the square. And even though white has more pieces on b8, the important thing is black will be able to give up his bishop for the pawn. So this is not the way. This is not the way to win. White can't really achieve anything here except to repeat position. So white should play another bishop move, like say bishop to e5. And now the threat is to queen the pawn, and black's bishop cannot go here, because then there'd just be a trade, and then white queens the pawn. So black needs to go to a7 to prepare to sacrifice the bishop for the pawn. But now white has a winning move, bishop to d4. And this threatens the bishop on a7, and there's no way that the bishop can move and maintain control over the b8 queen square. Like if the bishop moves here, the white king would just take it, and if the bishop moves back, again there would be a trade, and then white queens the pawn. So this has been a nice little study of a win with king and bishop and pawn against king and bishop of the same color. So it kind of shows how you use the ability of the bishop to change directions quickly to force your opponent to lose a tempo. In this case, the critical maneuver was this move, bishop to e3, because it forced black to make this bishop move, which turned out to be a liability because of the move bishop to h4, which gained a tempo on the opponent bishop. Well, thank you for watching this video, and have a good one.